Have you ever thought that sometimes the greatest strength doesn't lie in wealth or possessions, but in a smile and a grateful heart, even when life tests us in the harshest ways? In a small, bustling town in India lived a woman named Anaya. She didn't have much, no big house, no car, not even a small savings to rely on. But Anaya carried a treasure no one could ever take away: an open heart and a radiant smile. Every morning, before the sun had even risen, Anaya quietly walked to the local flower market. She carefully picked pure jasmine blossoms, vibrant red roses, and bright golden marigolds. Then she would find a small spot by the roadside, near a temple, and sit patiently. With gentle, skilled hands, she tied the flowers into little garlands and sold them to worshippers heading to the temple or workers rushing to their offices. The income from her garlands was barely enough to survive, yet Anaya never complained. Worry never etched itself onto her face. She was always smiling, always soft-spoken, and always thankful, even for the smallest coin. Then the monsoon arrived. At first it was just a teasing drizzle, but soon the rains grew heavier and poured endlessly, day after day. Streets flooded, the sky turned gray, and Anaya's flowers quickly spoiled under the relentless downpour. Still, she came to her usual spot every day, her sari drenched, her basket of flowers soggy, and her earnings close to nothing. People hurried past with umbrellas, their heads down, never stopping to buy. One morning, Anaya stared at her basket of wilted flowers. Her back ached, her legs were cold and stiff, and for 3 days straight, she hadn't sold a single garland. For a moment, she wanted to cry. But then, lifting her gaze, she noticed the frowning faces, the hurried footsteps, the people weighed down by the rain. And suddenly, a thought rose within her. They need a smile more than I need a sale. Anaya stood up, and with a voice both firm and warm, she called out, "Free flowers today. Take some and smile, even if it's raining." People suddenly stopped in their tracks. Some looked puzzled, some chuckled, and others simply smiled as they reached out to take a flower. A little girl giggled and ran over to hug her tightly. A man who had just dropped his phone and shouted in anger found himself handed a marigold. Anaya spoke gently. "Maybe today is terrible, but you are not, and this too shall pass." The man froze, surprised, then quietly walked away. In the days that followed, Anaya continued doing the same. She gave away her soggy flowers with a smile and kind words. People began to notice her, not just for the flowers, but for her resilience and her generous spirit. Then one morning, as the clouds finally began to clear after endless days of rain, a man approached her. He wore a crisp white shirt, carried an umbrella, and had a kind face. In his hands were a folder and a small key. "Anaya," he called. She looked up. "My name is Ravi," he said. "Last week I came here and took flowers from you. They were wet, but your words stayed with me. You told me that the rain may fall, but we must keep blooming." And from that very moment, the story took an unexpected turn. Ravi paused for a moment, his eyes shining with sincerity, as if to show how deeply Anaya's words had saved a broken soul. "That day," he said softly, his voice heavy, "I was collapsing inside. My business was on the brink of failure. My father was lying in a hospital bed. I had lost all hope." Anaya sat in silence, her eyes wide with surprise. She never imagined that such simple words of hers could echo so far. "But it was your kindness," Ravi continued, "that gave me strength. You reminded me to stay strong, to smile even in the storm. And I made a promise to myself that if I ever stood tall again, I would help someone else rise, just as you helped me." He then handed her the folder and the small key. "I run a small flower supply business," he explained. "I've rented a shop nearby. It's yours now. You can sell your flowers there under a roof, safe from the rain." Anaya's eyes widened. "But I can't pay rent. I barely earn enough to survive." Ravi smiled, a warm smile that seemed to dissolve the heavy air around them. "You don't need to pay right away. When your business grows, you can return it little by little. There's no rush. The only thing I ask is that you keep smiling and keep spreading your kindness to others." Tears rolled down Anaya's cheeks. In that moment, she remembered all the days when she had held on to faith, even when she sold nothing, even when she endured rude words, even when the rain poured without end. She still gave, and she still smiled. And now, all of that had come back to her, like a simple yet profound miracle. The very next day, Anaya opened the door to her little shop. Inside, there was only a wooden table, a few shelves, and a humble roof. Yet to her, it was an entirely new world. Her flowers now stayed fresh longer, and her customers could stay dry while they shopped. Day by day, more and more people came, not only to buy flowers, but also to feel the warmth in her words and her smile. Soon after, she hired 2 women from her neighborhood, women who also needed work to support their families. Anaya taught them how to weave gardens with care and how to greet customers with kindness. Slowly, her little shop became something special. People affectionately began calling it the Smiling Flower Shop. Years later, on a stormy morning, Anaya found herself looking at a reflection of her own past. In front of the shop stood a young girl, drenched from the rain, clutching a basket of ruined flowers. Her face was filled with despair. Anaya stepped outside, held an umbrella over the girl, and said gently, "Come in, child. Don't let the rain stop us." "But my flowers are spoiled. Who will buy them?" the girl asked, her voice trembling with worry. Anaya smiled, her kind eyes shining with wisdom. "Then let's give them away with love. You never know whose heart they may touch." And so the circle of kindness continued, passing from one small hand to another heart, like a flame carried forward that would never burn out. Life, of course, will never be filled with sunshine alone. There will be days when storms arrive without warning, when failures, losses, and pains strike in ways we cannot avoid. Yet even in the heaviest rain, we still have the power to choose how we respond. We can give up, or we can stand tall, smile, and keep moving forward. A positive mindset does not make problems disappear, but it gives us the strength to rise above sorrow and to face adversity with courage. Think about it. If we can hold on to a smile, live with kindness, and keep believing in brighter days ahead, won't life find a way to bless us in unexpected ways? The answer is always yes. Kindness, no matter how small, can ripple outward like waves on water, reaching places farther than we imagine. When we smile through hardship, when we share even the little we have, life often finds a way to return the favor with surprises we never saw coming. True strength does not lie in what we endure, but in how we endure it. Never underestimate the power of attitude. A heart that stays positive in difficult times is like a seed planted in the soil of struggle, and from it, miracles can grow. Sometimes it doesn't just change someone else's life, it changes your own. So, keep blooming, even when it rains. If you found this story inspiring, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you won't miss the next story that uplifts your spirit. And share with us in the comments, which part of Anaya's story touched your heart the most? Or have you ever experienced a moment when a small act of kindness completely changed your day? We would love to hear your story. Thank you for listening, and see you in the next video.